Live from Adelaide, 7 News with Elspeth Hussey.
Hello and welcome to 7 Adelaide's early edition. We begin with some giant news out of Adelaide Zoo with confirmation 2 new pandas are headed our way. These are the very first pictures of Wong Wong and Funi's replacements. Their names are Xing Chul and Yi Lan, a male and a female, both aged 3 years old. The zoo says it's carefully selected pandas with the best chance of reproducing.
I'm also absolutely thrilled today to share the news with the public of South Australia about the 2 new pandas that are going to be calling Adelaide Zoo home.
I'm so excited. I'm sad that Wang Wang and Funi are leaving.
Let's hope that these two actually like each other.
Let's hope. Wong Wong and Funi will be shipped back to China in November after 15 years at Adelaide Zoo. An arrival date is yet to be set for our new couple. Well, for the first time in more than 40 years, passenger trains will run into the heart of Port Adelaide. As Lauren Rose reports, the $51 million rebuild is set to breathe new life into the dockside precinct.
The Port Dock line itself isn't new. It carried passengers to and from the city all the way back in 1856. It was decommissioned in 1981, but now, 43 years later, it's back. The 1 kilometre spur line will break away from the existing Outer Harbour line, terminating in the heart of Port Adelaide at the new Port Dock station. The project forms part of the state government's ongoing investment to revitalise the precinct to attract new residents and visitors.
Oh, it's fantastic for us here at Pyrolife. It gives people an opportunity to be able to come down, have some beers and eat some of our great food and have a direct link to the city.
That's just one of the attractions in Port Adelaide that this train line is opening up. The museums for families. Such an exciting place for young kids to come, hop on the train, come along, have a look. Go out on the Port River, see some dolphins. Have a wander around, look at the shops. Have a look at some of the new houses that are being developed on the dock and maybe think about moving here.
Port Dock services will operate every half an hour, 7 days a week, stopping at all stops to and from Adelaide. The first service departs the Port Dock station at 7:18 tomorrow morning.
Hundreds of Adelaide Uber and Didi drivers will stop work on Monday as they ramp up their fight for better pay. And as Peter Caldecott reports, it's airport passengers that are being told to brace for disruptions.
Uber and Didi drivers will stop work from 7 a.m. here at Adelaide Airport on Monday morning. They'll refuse to pick up or drop off passengers for most of the day. The planned industrial action follows a snap strike on Thursday that caught many airline travellers by surprise.
Uber fare! Unfair! Uber fare! Unfair!
The drivers say they're struggling to make ends meet after Uber cut commissions.
The Uber have decreased the price up to 20%, and people are not getting enough money for the fare.
We just want fair prices for any trip. We are not want anything extra money. We just want fair prices.
Times are so tough, Uber drivers are reportedly leaving the industry in droves, while others are looking for better paying jobs. The boycott will affect all capital city airports.
If other drivers are united, then we can do on the other cities on the same day.
Even customers don't blame the drivers for going on strike.
Well, I think they deserve better paying conditions. It seems like a company that definitely takes advantage of their workers.
Monday's strike will run from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. The disgruntled drivers say unless their commission rates improve, customers will likely be hit with more rolling stoppages.
A man's body has been found in a surfboard bag dumped on a driveway in rural New South Wales. The homicide squad spent the day at the 62-year-old's home near Coffs Harbour, more than an hour from where his body was found. A 23-year-old woman has been charged with his murder.
All of his neighbours around him all loved him. His family and his friends all love him. He's just a man that you could always count on if you ever needed help.
Police allege it was an act of domestic violence. 3 people are dead and 4 have been seriously injured in a mass stabbing attack at a German festival. The killer is still on the run. Nick Etchells reports.
Chaos in the heart of Germany. A small town festival turned into a tragedy. 3 people are dead, another 4 seriously injured following a mass stabbing in Solingen near the Dutch border around 9:30 p.m. local time.
That's
really horrific what happened. And even if you keep thinking about the dangerous situation we live in, something like that really knocks you out.
Specialist police flooded the central square, but the killer had fled. Tonight, the lone attacker is on the run. Police warning they can't guarantee he won't strike again.
We have not been informed of any motives. We are, of course, still in urgent need of witnesses. Videos, photos, we'll take anything.
This was supposed to be the first of 3 days of celebrations for the city's 650th birthday. Officials had expected 25,000 people every night. Now the festival has been cancelled as the city mourns and police hunt a killer. Nick Etchells, 7 News.
The family of British tech billionaire Mike Lynch have broken their silence, saying they're devastated after a super yacht sank, killing him, his daughter and 5 others. The final body, that of Mr Lynch's 18-year-old daughter Hannah, has now been recovered from the shipwreck off Sicily. Ukrainian Australians are commemorating Independence Day amid the ongoing war with Russia in their homeland. Pressure is again mounting on the Albanese government to offer more military support. Political reporter Josh Martin explains.
Today is 33 years since Ukraine declared independence from the Soviet Union, but that independence is once again under threat from Vladimir Putin's invasion. The Friends of Ukraine group marking the date in Canberra, sending a direct message to the Russian embassy and its diplomats.
I think it's really important. I'm sure they don't like it, but that's been, and for us it was an obvious thing to do. Ukrainians are resilient, they're strong, they have a strong sense of identity, a strong sense of belief in sovereignty and independence.
That strength on display with Kyiv's counterattack into Russia's Kursk region. New vision from the Ukrainian Air Force shows precision strikes on enemy positions and equipment. The incursion prompting calls for Western allies like Australia to step up military support to Ukraine in the form of equipment our Defence Force is phasing out.
On Independence Day, the thing that we need to hear from the Prime Minister is he's giving these retired Abrams tanks and Tiger helicopters to the Ukrainians.
Australia was the #1 non-NATO supporter for Ukraine, and we've dropped down under the Albanese government. There should be a long-term strategic plan to support Ukraine.
The Albanese government says it's given $1.3 billion worth of support to Ukraine already, but continues to look at other options.
It's been a weekend of delays in the AFL, with one match rescheduled and another stopped by lightning. The Hawks-Kangaroos match was brought forward to avoid industrial action by electrical workers in Tasmania, but fans, commentators and the Hawks banner were stuck on a flight that returned to Melbourne because of technical problems this morning. They eventually got to Launceston at half-time. And last night's match, the D's versus Collingwood at the MCG, was forced to pause for 36 minutes due to a lightning storm. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has spectacularly pulled out of the presidential race. Now, the former Democrat is endorsing Donald Trump, joining the Republican candidate on stage at a rally in Arizona. Tim Lester has the latest.
He's the most high-profile, contentious member of one of America's most famous political dynasties, a Democrat dynasty. And yet today, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. cashed in his campaign for president to back Republican Donald Trump.
It's with a sense of victory and not defeat that I'm suspending my campaign activities. We changed the national political conversation forever.
The 70-year-old son of Robert Kennedy, assassinated as he campaigned for the presidency in 1968. RFK Jr. acknowledging he's held recent talks with Donald Trump.
Now, to throw my support to President Trump.
There's speculation now, should Trump win in November, Kennedy would get a role in the health portfolio. He is famously anti-vaccines. To underline their new relationship, Kennedy appeared today at a Trump rally.
Grounded in the American values of his father, Robert Kennedy, a great man, and his uncle, President John F. Kennedy. And I know that they are looking down right now and they are very, very proud.
Most of Robert Kennedy's family have been fiercely opposed to his presidential bid, all the more so now he's backing Donald Trump.
Robert F. Kennedy Sr. would be rolling over in his grave.
Polls had Kennedy winning less than 5% of the vote, but in the swing states where the margins are so narrow, the votes he's now trying to direct to Donald Trump may yet prove vital.
Well, back home, South Australia's new leader of the opposition, Vincent Tarzia, has made an impassioned plea to the party faithful at a meeting today. What he said, that's coming up next. Also, an out-of-control driver's terrifying motorway plunge caught on dashcam. And a historic pub goes up in flames as patrons are forced to flee. Vincent Tarzia is pleading with the State Liberal Party to show him loyalty. The new leader faced the party's annual meeting today, 2 weeks after David Spears quit the top job. He's also demanding unity if the Libs are any chance to win the government in 2026.
History has shown that everybody is beatable.
Party veterans and rank-and-file members showed solidarity today. At 6 o'clock, we will look at the policy areas the new leader sees as the most important. Well, now to vision of the terrifying moment a car plunged 12 metres onto a motorway in Sydney. The driver lost control while entering an on-ramp. It happened earlier this month, but the dashcam vision has just emerged online. The driver was rushed to hospital with head injuries. Guests and workers were forced to flee when a pub in Western Queensland went up in flames. More than a dozen people were assessed by paramedics as firefighters battled for hours to bring it under control. Jordan Bissell has more.
Good evening. The Baralabar Hotel, 150 kilometres west of Rockhampton, is an institution to locals in the tiny town. The place where celebrations and birthdays are held is now no more, collapsing during a ferocious blaze overnight.
We're stressing scenes here this morning in Baralabar. The pub's a whole thing for the community. It's just the whole social fabric of a little country town.
The fire started in the front of the property just after 2 a.m. 13 people staying at the hotel were evacuated and assessed by paramedics. Miraculously, all were okay. It took crews more than 3 hours to extinguish the flames.
Distance and travel was against us on this one. Responded from Mara, which is approximately 40 to 50 minutes away from Baralabar. We have one crew attend straight away from the Baralabar station.
The hotel's owner was too distraught to speak on camera today. The tiny town of just 324 is now banding together. In the 1920s, when the pub first opened its doors, the coal mining town was little more than just a school and a hospital, still the town's one and only. Power outages and smoke have affected surrounding businesses. Baralabar's Foodworks supermarket shutting up shop until power can be restored.
An oil tanker in the Red Sea has been set on fire. Yemen's Houthi rebels released videos of several explosions on the Greek-flagged vessel. An international maritime trade body confirmed its crew had already been evacuated after an earlier attack. The oil tanker is believed to be drifting. Well, coming up after the break, Abba will join us with the day's sport news, including Josh Rochelli's highly anticipated Sandful appearance. We'll tell you how the Axed Crow went. And Aussie Adam Scott shoots a record low round at the BMW Championship in Colorado.
Good afternoon. All eyes were on Unley Oval this afternoon as Axed Crow Josh Rochelli lined up in the Sandful as Adelaide faced off against the Double Blues. After a week of intense scrutiny, the 21-year-old was solid in the midfield, finishing with 17 touches and 6 clearances.
What really impressed me was his work inside and in the contest. I think, especially in that first half, nearly every one of his possessions was a contested possession.
Adelaide takes on Sydney at the SCG tonight in its last game for the season. It's live and free on 7 right after our news at 6. Meanwhile, the Power flew to Perth ahead of its clash with Fremantle at Optus Stadium tomorrow afternoon. A win will guarantee a top 2 finish and 2 home finals. The high-flying Hawks have capped off a stunning rise to finals football, belting North Melbourne by 124 points in Launceston. 9 players booted multiple goals in a win, rocketing the Hawks to 5th for now.
For the next 24 hours, we get to reflect and look backwards and be pretty proud of what we've achieved as a club to get to this point at this stage.
Jeremy Cameron had 7 of his 9 goals from 7 kicks before half-time as Geelong destroyed West Coast by 93 points and secured a top 4 spot. Melbourne's Cozzy Pickett is set to be banned for this hit that concussed Collingwood captain Darcy Moore. The Pies Premiership reign ended with a 46-point win over Melbourne last night. At just 17 years of age, swimmer Callum Simpson is set to represent Australia at the Paralympics for the very first time. Simpson can't wait to fight for gold in Paris and make his loved ones incredibly proud.
It can always feel pretty good putting on the green goals and swimming in front of my parents. Probably being one of my dreams, just to represent my country and have my parents watching me and cheering me on.
Simpson will compete in the S8 100 metres and 200 metres freestyle events. Adam Scott has turned back the clock just in time for the PGA's $25 million Tour Championship at Castle Pines in Colorado. Scott fired a course record, 9 under par 63 second round to lead the BMW Championship ahead by 3 shots. Scott is eyeing his first Tour win in 4 years.
I feel like I really don't have anything to lose this week. Of course, I'd love to make it to Eastlake, but now I'd love to win this event.
Newly appointed US Ryder Cup captain Keegan Bradley sits second. Ludwig Oberg matched Scott's record round to sit 4 shots back in 3rd place. After securing their spots in the WSL Final 5, all 3 Aussie surf stars crashed out of the contention at the Fiji Pro. World number 4 Molly Picklum fell to 17-year-old wildcard debutant Erin Brooks in the semi-finals. Coached by the King, Kelly Slater, Brooks defeated Tatiana Weston-Webb to claim a maiden WSL title.
As a wildcard, just having so much fun, everyone on tour is just focusing on their final 5 spots. I just wanted to surf and get good waves.
Paris silver medalist Jack Robinson and Ethan Ewing both fell in their semi-finals. Griffin Colapinto took out the men's title. That's all for now. Plenty more in our sport in 6 o'clock news. But after that, we head to the SCG for the Crows' last game of the year, live and free. You're sad, aren't you?
Oh, so, and no Rochelle in that game.
You have to watch Port Adelaide in a couple of weeks.
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll see.
We'll turn you around, don't worry.
I don't know. Thanks, Abba. Well, stay with us after the break. Gertie has the word on just how long this warm spell will last. That's next. Mike has our main bulletin at 6. What have you got for us, Smitho?
Well, Elle, we know excitement is certainly building ahead of the Panda arrivals. You know that. Well, their names are revealed and more details about who's who at the zoo. The toughest job in town. Vincent Tarzia explains his vision to Liberal Party faithful after 2 weeks of turmoil. Surprise support for Donald Trump, and it couldn't come from a higher US political royalty figure. And in Selling SA, homes going under the hammer for a great cause, how to get a roof over your head. These stories coming up at 6.
Beauty, thank you, Smitho. Well, keepers are celebrating the arrival of a baby rhino at Melbourne's Werribee Open Range Zoo. In a major milestone for the zoo's breeding program, the 60-kilo male arrived on Sunday and keepers say he's thriving. It's estimated as few as 10,000 southern white rhinos remain in the wild. The calf is yet to be named. Isn't he very cute? Well, time for the weather now. Gertie joins us from Felixstowe. Gertie, it feels like spring's arrived a week early.
It certainly does, Elle. It was a beautiful, warm and mostly sunny day across much of the state, although in the far north, spring, well, they skipped it altogether and went straight to summer with daytime temperatures again in the mid to high 30s. Oodnadatta was the hottest place today with a top of 39 degrees. Now, here in the city, we're expecting it to cool down a touch tomorrow with some showers and gusty thunderstorms a chance too. More on that soon, but first, let's check how today panned out with a low of 12 degrees at around 6 o'clock this morning, and then we hit a top of 23 shortly before 1:30. Right now it's 21. Around the country, mostly sunny conditions along the eastern seaboard. 21 in Brisbane, a touch warmer in Sydney. Sunny in Melbourne, 19 at the moment. Cool with showers in Hobart and showers easing in Perth. Right now it's 16. A low pressure system south of the bar is heading southeast and bringing windy conditions with it. A trough will move over SA tonight and into tomorrow, triggering some showers. Windy and sunny in the far north tomorrow, 28 for Cooper Pedy and Roxby, 26 for Woomera. Becoming windy further south with showers developing about the agricultural area, 19 for Port Lincoln, 24 for Whyalla, 26 for Port Augusta, 20 for Clare, Edithburgh and Victor, 28 for Renmark, 18 for Mount Gambier. And strong winds are forecast about the following coastlines. In the city, it's dropping down to 15 degrees overnight, 20's the top with showers and a thunderstorm a chance. More on what's to come next week in the full forecast tonight. Elle.
Thank you, Gertie. And that's all from Adelaide's early edition team. Thanks for your company. Smitho will have all the day's top stories for you at 6 o'clock. Bye for now.
The 7 News app will give you the news you want every minute of every day, including breaking news alerts. Download the 7 News app now.